his postseason struggles, maybe for an audience that doesn't follow it that closely?
It's crazy. It'd almost be like if Michael Jordan all of a sudden couldn't play in the playoffs, missed every shot, turning the ball over, forget about the 6 championships. If Michael Jordan had 0 championships and people thought that he choked in the playoffs, that's the parallel here, because Clayton Kershaw has been the most dominant starting pitching of this generation, but for some reason hasn't been able to do it in October.
Yeah, and we will do a little discussion a little later this morning. I think you'll find fascinating about the psychology that is connected to this thing, but one way or another, again, Kershaw gives up home runs on back-to-back pitches, and the 106-win Dodgers have their season come to an end last night. Let's talk a little more here about Kershaw and his struggles. We know the regular season, he's so good, 3 Cy Youngs and all those wins, but come playoffs, his record dips under 500. He's 9-11, and look at that, the ERA jumps up by 2 whole runs.
I don't know the question you were trying to ask.
Be better tomorrow.
I'm not answering that. That's a clown question, bro.
Next. Mike, why are you in such a bad mood? What do you care?
What else do you want to know?
Next question.
Your next question.
Next question. Next question.
I'm not going to answer any questions from you.
Answer my question! The question, jerk!
Hitting questions, Domonique Foxworth, and he will answer them now. I will set up the first one by saying you have been the captain of SS Dak. You have been defending Dak Prescott's honor since before that was a thing. So here's my first question. Is your belief in him at all shaken?
Hell no. You don't even got to finish the question. No, it's not shaken. He's been fantastic. Since he's entered the league, he's led the league in wins. Or, I'm sorry, he's behind Tom Brady in wins. And I understand winning is not a quarterback stat, so that's fine. We'll go to QBR. He's 6th in QBR. He's shown the ability to come back in fourth quarter and lead game-winning drives. He's gotten his team to the playoffs. He's won playoff games. He has been outstanding. And some people out here tripping over 2 games, Greeny. 2 games. You guys ready to back off on Dak. He's not the best in the league. There's a tier of quarterbacks that's above him, but he is right below that. And anyone who suggests that he doesn't deserve to be the highest paid quarterback in the league at this moment is out of their mind. He deserves to be the highest, and then Mahomes will come up or someone else will come up and they'll go above him. But quibbling with Dak Prescott over a couple dollars here or there is just nonsense to me, because from there, what are you going to do? Who are you going to draft? Who are you going to sign? Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback.
To me, it feels like, and this isn't the moment to have the conversation, there are 2 separate discussions.
Right.
There's, does he deserve the money, and there's just how good is he? Let me go to the next one. The NFL upholds Vontaze Burfict's suspension. He's done for the year. Was that the right decision?
I mean, from the NFL perspective, it absolutely was, because if you think risk-reward, Vontaze Burfict brings nothing to the league, really. Like, no one's tuning in to see Vontaze Burfict. There's not a big Vontaze Burfict hive that's going to be upset. Obviously, Oakland Raiders are going to be upset not having him. But by and large, you look at the league, getting a guy out of the league who has these type of hits that draw our attention, I think is a smart move for the league. I don't think it's necessarily fair to Vontaze Burfict or to the Raiders, but it doesn't matter. But he has this image now that I think is kind of mind-blowing, is that he's too violent for football. Like, I can't imagine thinking about someone who plays the game of football in a way that is so bad that they don't even want him in the league.
I get it, and I've heard you say that, and I understand the point you're making, but at some point, this is just as simple as there are rules, and he has demonstrated consistently that he is either unable to or unwilling to follow them, and if you do that enough times, I don't think it's unreasonable to say, okay, you can't play anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable. I doubt that the union is going to be up in arms and individual players. He doesn't have, as I mentioned, he doesn't have a hive anywhere. Outside of Oakland, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to stand up and say, I got your back.
All right, here comes my favorite one.
All right.
Is Deshaun Watson just as good as Patrick Mahomes?
Greeny, no. Let's calm down. Deshaun Watson is fantastic. I need to take a deep breath to calm down, because that question is even more offensive than the first question.
No, it is not.
Because Deshaun Watson, I think there's an argument you can say that Patrick Mahomes landed in a great spot.
Yes.
He has a lot of great talent around him and probably a future Hall of Fame coach leading him, and that is all fantastic. That's why he is great. And Deshaun Watson was the opposite. He came in there and saved the man's job, saved the whole staff's job. So I think that's credible. But the things that Patrick Mahomes is capable of doing, and not just capable of doing, the things that he has done consistently through his career have been crazy. And him, over the start of his career, the worst games that he's had is over 300 yards, a touchdown, and no interception.
I understand that, but the question I want to ask you is, if they had just drafted Deshaun Watson instead of Patrick Mahomes, would he be doing essentially all the same things that Mahomes is doing?
No, quite literally, no. The team would be very successful. They'd be very good, but he is incapable. It's the idea of saying, like, if I handed you a basketball, Greeny, you might be able to shoot quite well. But I told you, hey, jump from the free throw line and dunk. You just aren't capable of doing that. And while that may be like some flashy something, it comes into play. He just can't do the things that that Patrick Mahomes can do. And these will be two of the best quarterbacks in this league for years to come. I'm not trying to take anything from Deshaun Watson, but he ain't no Patty.
For the record, I could jump from the free throw line and dunk, but that's a different discussion. All right, Maria, let's keep it going from there.
Greeny Nation, I totally agree. Let's play a little game of either or, Shefty and Woody. Okay, Shefty, we start with you. Odell Beckham Jr., 2 catches in each of the last 2 games. More likely to have 2 or 8?
More likely to have 8. After 2 games where he's had a flat performance, this offense has been uneven. And to use the words of other people around the league, they've called the Browns offense a quote-unquote mess. I think they're more likely to get Odell Beckham Jr. back on track. Maybe that's 8 receptions. We'll see how that works out. But I think OBJ is more likely to have more this week than less this week.
All right, Woody, you're up. 49ers are 4-0, Rams 3-2. Who finishes higher in the NFC West standings?
I'm going to go with the 49ers. And I know the 49ers are pretty beat up right now. They have injuries littered all over their offense.
They call you to play, by the way?
They might. They
down
can
2
try.
offensive tackles.
They can try. But listen, the one thing that the 49ers do have, they have a very good defense, and they can run the ball. And that can take you a long way until some of those injured guys come back.
All right, Shefty, back to you. The Eagles offense averaging just under 30 points a game. The Vikings D give up just under 12 a game. Which group has the better game on Sunday?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Vikings are coming off a performance in which they finally got the offense on track. The Eagles are high-flying performance. I'm going to say the Eagles are more likely to get their way on the offense side of football because both teams are going to be capable of scoring in this game. I love the Vikings defense. I think it's very tough, but I think there'll probably be a little bit more points in this game than a Vikings defense ordinarily would give up because Eagles offense is that good.
All right, last one. Can you both chime in? Finally, we have the battle of the backups on Sunday between Teddy Bridgewater, Gardner Minshew. Who's been more impressive?
Man, I'm gonna probably have. I went Bridgewater first.
Okay.
I went Bridgewater, but Gardner Minshew has been.
So you're taking it back?
Yeah, I'm going to take it back. I'm going Gardner
Teddy's
Minshew.
a veteran. Gardner Minshew is a late-round draft pick rookie. I'm going with Gardner Minshew. Give me the mustache, man.
Gabe got the mustache. All right, coming up on SportsCenter at 6 Eastern with Sage and Kevin. Tom Brady and the Patriots, their guide to staying perfect tonight against the Giants. Plus, how the Rays can pull off the upset and knock out the Astros tonight. And today's new developments on the NBA's controversy with China. That's SportsCenter on ESPN. You can also stream it on the ESPN app.
All right, we showed you one of the National League Game 5s last night. Let's show you the other here with Mark Teixeira alongside. And this one was all about the first inning.
Yeah, and this game was over before it really even started here. You see Marcell Ozuna has had a great NLDS so far with the single to right, gets the Cardinals on board 1-0. But the game is still in hand at this point.
Until Yadi Molina with runners at first and second. And here's the big moment. That's a one-hopper to Freddie Freeman. Freeman can't hang on.
As a first baseman, I hate this play because Freddie Freeman got blocked out by Ozuna. If he can turn a double play here, you see Ozuna's right in front of him, just threw Freeman off. If you turn a double play here, the Braves get out of this inning just down 1-0.
Instead, they open up a can. 2-0 after a walk. Tommy Edman, that's a fair ball. 2 runs are going to score, and they're off to the races.
And that error really rattled Mike Foltynewicz. He was excellent in Game 2 for the Braves, but just couldn't get anybody out here in Game 5.
And now it's 7-0. Colton Wong is up. His bunt had been the only out of the inning to that point. Now here's another one that's in the gap. It's a 10-run first inning.
A historical first inning. It looked like the Braves were throwing batting practice. But you got to give the Cardinals some credit. They still have to hit the ball. They took advantage of the Braves' miscue.
And that would be all she wrote. You go up 10-0. They should pretty much call it there. 13-1, the Cardinals win, and they advance beyond the Braves. And so with the extraordinary drama in the late game and the lights going out early in the early game, it leaves us with the Nationals and Cardinals in the National League Championship Series. Who do you think has the edge?
I think the Nationals are the better team. And the Cardinals won a division. They won a very hard-fought division series, just like the Nationals did. But when I look at the Nationals, you have 3 really good starting pitchers. You have a bullpen that finally has an 8th and 9th inning guy in Sean Doolittle and Daniel Hudson. And to me, when you have Anthony Rendon and Juan Soto in the middle of your lineup, you're in every single game, just like we saw last night.
So once again, the two top teams, the teams with the best records in the National League, go out in this round, and either the Nats or the Cardinals will advance to play in the World Series. Much more baseball as we go. Also on the way, football. Back to Deshaun Watson. Is he narrowing the gap with his classmate Patrick Mahomes, drafted the same year? Is that battle getting